Research has also shown that there's a high correlation, a good positive relationship between tertiary education and indices such as the absence of corruption, the rule of law, and high-quality public administration. The South African government has recognized the importance of investing in education. So in our recent budget speech, this year, 2010, the government has decided to invest more in education, including university education. And we have all the reason in the world to expect that these increases will continue in the years to come because it is the building block of building our country. Yes, we've had a global economic recession. It's affected us. But as you heard from Professor Nick Bernadel, we're now showing signs of recovery. The recession has also had some positive aspects too. Housing prices are at their lowest in many years. And as you know, the quality of housing in South Africa is good. The bond rate is also at its lowest level in 30 years. There are jobs for skilled people. The remuneration levels allow us to enjoy a good quality of life. Good quality housing, gardens, swimming pools, and many of our schools and universities, as I said earlier, are offering world-class education. Professor Bernadel said to us that the economy is in the engine for building our country. I wish to firmly agree with him, but to say also that more is needed. We need to build social cohesion. And what I mean by social cohesion is the willingness of members of society to cooperate with one another in order to have peace and prosperity, and thereby generate a sense of well-being. Social cohesion involves a sense of belonging amongst us all and feelings of community, strong communities that work together for the future. Through building social cohesion, we are more likely to address the gap between the wealthy and the poor in our country. Now, we do have existing nodes of very strong social cohesion. Think back to your own childhood and your own experience. Think about the examples that you may have had in your childhood of borrowing from the neighbor, be it the lawnmower, cup of sugar, the cake sales for school fundraising. Choirs are very popular in South Africa. It's a way of building social cohesion. The challenge for us now is to build those nodes of social cohesion into even bigger nodes across historical divides. And it's very important that I point out that social cohesion is not about sameness. It's about diversity. It's about respect for difference and diversity so that we can live harmoniously in peaceful coexistence. Now, educational institutions play a fundamental role in developing social cohesion, and we in South Africa are taking that very seriously. The universities, like Pretoria and all others in the country, talk about community engagement, and we're building that into our programs. It's about developing good citizenship, about bridging the divides so that we can build a better future for all of us. Thus, this year, our engineering program has been shortlisted for an international award that recognizes best practices in how community engagement can be incorporated into professional education programs. Ladies and gentlemen, discussions about South Africa and home often invoke questions about identity. And many people have asked me the question, is there in fact a South African identity? Or are we just different people living in the same place? To answer that question, I'm going to quote one fact. I'm sure all of you are familiar with the Blue Bulls. The home base, Loftusversveld, Pretoria, long been regarded as an icon of Afrikanerdom. Now here's an interesting fact. Today, 64% of Blue Bulls fans are black South Africans. 64%. That's how the identity is being built in South Africa today. changing. We are building a cooperative society, one that will have social cohesiveness that we've not witnessed in the country in all its history. Discussions like these often engender feelings of belonging in us. We talk about the emotions of being home. What does it mean? But there are also practical considerations. I've had a choice to live elsewhere in the world. I choose to live in South Africa. I choose to do so because there are opportunities there. It's a place where my need for belonging, my sense and my need for making a difference on a daily basis, making a difference in my community is very real. But it's also a place where there are economic opportunities, where there are opportunities for new ideas, for innovation, and for succeeding in those ideas, in the implementation. It's also very important for me that I live in a place that connects with my own sense of self-worth, my own identity. On a daily basis, in looking around at the contrasts, the move from poor to rich, I know that I have every possibility in thinking through my own actions of making a real and visible difference in my lifetime. I would suggest to you that South Africa is like a home under renovation. We are working on it. It's improving. To complete the project, we need more people who are skilled and willing to make a difference. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much, Cheryl. I think so much of what you said again resonates. I think today, for me, so much, when we started this, we had so much convincing to do for people about South Africa. And now I can feel that we can actually talk to you on an emotional level. We can stand here, myself, Nick, Cheryl, as just citizens of South Africa and share so much of what we love about the country very, very confidently, which we weren't able to do in the same way 5 years ago. And I think, for me, it's your last words of a home under renovation. And that's exactly what it is. It isn't fully developed. It hasn't got its roof on and it's not leaking. There's lots of leaks, but we can work to fix the leaks together. And the one thing about homecomers is they come home, one of the strongest things is they want to make a difference. So they're enthusiastic, they're excited, and they choose to be back in South Africa. And they are indeed a valuable asset because of that. So are there any questions for Cheryl? No one? No?